So the question we have today is, why can a narcissist never actually admit that they're a narcissist? And I'm actually going to be telling you the solution to this question in this video coming up ahead. I actually got this question from one of you on my Instagram, which is an excellent place to ask me questions because it's so much easier to get to there than anywhere else. And the problem that you're running into is that in this situation, your father is a narcissist in this situation, the question that I got, and they're coming to this person saying like, hey, like, you're being a narcissist, like, you're treating me very poorly and you're only caring about yourself. And you're trying to communicate with this person and they're just saying, no, in fact, you're the narcissist for thinking I am one. That's the situation we're running into. And I'm sure many of you have been in the situation where you're coming up and you're talking to somebody and you're trying to just communicate with them because maybe you don't just want to call them out. Maybe you finally figured out that somebody is a narcissist, right? Like when I first figured out my ex-girlfriend was displaying narcissistic behaviors. And I told her, I'm like, hey, like, this is like what you're doing, and they deny it, and then they call you a narcissist. And you're just like, what the heck? That's not what I'm even trying to do. You're not even trying to offend somebody, right? You're just trying to communicate with them because you care about people and you want people to be the best versions of themselves. And if you're like me, you just want this world to be a better place. And talking to people about their issues, you would think, is actually going to help you. So let's dive into this question to understand what is going on and the reason why narcissists have such a difficult time admitting to the fact that they are displaying narcissistic behaviors. And when you look at the situation as a whole, what you're running into is narcissism coming from a place of deep shame and feelings of inadequacy that are then covered up with the cover strategy of grandiosity, of only caretaking oneself, of feeling that you yourself are separate from everybody else, so you try to act like you're not like anybody else, you are better than everybody else, and everybody else is beneath you and below you, and therefore you don't have to care how you treat other people. It is because of this deep feeling of shame about who someone is as a person that these narcissistic behaviors come out. And keep in mind, by the way, I'm not a doctor. These are just my opinions and my research. So these feelings of guilt and shame are different. Guilt comes from doing something bad, where you've performed a bad action and then you feel guilty about it. Shame is about feeling that you're a bad person as a whole. And feeling that you're a bad person as a whole, what this does is it puts you in fight or flight mode. And the reason that you're in fight or flight mode is because if you get rejected from the group, humans being a tribal social species, if you get pushed out from the group, you're not going to survive, right? This is how evolution has played out, to the fact that humans essentially are, pack animals. We're social species, and it's because we live in harmony together that we are able to survive as a species. We all help each other. If you go out right now into the forest by yourself, good luck surviving because you have nobody to help you out. We actually work well as a unit, and that's why you could say that our very first basic need, above food, above water, above shelter, is actually belonging to a group of people. It is the very first, most important need to get our safety and to fulfill our need for safety. Our safety comes from being with each other. And so if you feel like you're a bad person and you feel shame about who you are, and you've been shamed growing up about who you are, you think you are, or you are instinctively feeling and tapping into that part of your psychology that says you're going to be excluded from the group, and now you're on your own, and good luck surviving if you're on your own. When you're a baby, you need everybody to help you survive. So that's what we come to. And when you now approach somebody that is displaying narcissistic behaviors, and you're saying, hey, you're being a narcissist, right? You're being a bad person. And you start labeling this person as a bad person, the very first thing you run into is that psychological defense mechanism where they've already been using this cover strategy for years. They're going to say, I'm not a bad person, like, I am excellent, and they put on their cover and they're actually running away and avoiding those previous emotions of shame and guilt about who they are, and they're going to continue to cover it because the very first thing that you've already done is put them in a defense situation where they're just going to keep using the same strategy they've always already used to defend themselves. So actually, that is why narcissists have such a difficult time just admitting to the fact that they are displaying narcissistic behaviors. Because if they admitted to it, what they are actually going to do is they are going to admit to feeling the feelings of shame that they felt about who they are as a person. And if they admit to those feelings of shame, it's going to put them in a state of powerlessness. And they are fighting against that powerlessness because that is the very reason they created their survival strategy of narcissism. So if you're putting them in that situation where they feel like they have to admit and be vulnerable, that is not going to work for them. That is not going to help them actually recover at all if they feel that they are being put into that situation. So actually, when you move forward and you're understanding them from their point of view, why they're avoiding these feelings of shame about who they actually are as a person, even though these beliefs were created at a young age, from 8 years old and younger, where things did not logically make sense, they're going to try to defend those beliefs. Even though as adults now, we can try to understand that they're different and heal from them and grow from them, but it takes a lot of courage to be able to look at yourself while looking at reality and recognize the behaviors you have been displaying, and then try to understand their root and dive back into that pain and then heal it now as an adult. That's what we should actually be doing. But that's why it's so difficult to do that. So then, now moving forward, if you actually want to help people heal and grow, and you have a person in your life that is a narcissist, instead of just telling them that they are a narcissist, because I've also made this mistake of just saying, of making them feel like a bad person because maybe you're trying to tell them that they're displaying narcissistic behaviors. What you actually must do, which is a very difficult thing but very mature thing to do, is you must actually approach this other person with love and embracing them, including their narcissistic behaviors, in order to create a safe space for them to be vulnerable, because they're running away from pain. And if you can approach them with love, and they must be willing to a certain degree. You can't force these people to do something that they don't want to do. But if you create a safe space with them through love, and you tell them that you will accept them for who they are, and it's okay for them to be in pain, it's okay for them to feel shame, it's okay for them to dive into those feelings of unworthiness, of those painful emotions and memories that they are hiding and suppressing and running away from them. If you come to them and try to show them their reality with unbreakable love, attention, and awareness towards them, and accepting them for who they are right now, for who they will be, and for who they have been, then you can actually create a safe space for them where maybe they can actually make the decision to look at their own pain. But you cannot do it if you enter their space with a push away energy of, I don't accept you for who you are, you're being a narcissist, you're a terrible person, get out. You're now reaffirming their beliefs. That is not what you want to do if you want to actually play a helpful part in helping these people heal and grow. Well, you must actually come to them and say, hey, big hug, bring them in and say, I understand that you're in pain. I understand things have happened to you. I love you and I appreciate you for who you are. And you have, been displaying narcissistic behaviors. This is how it's made me feel. And I am with you regardless, because I want you to be the happiest version of you. I want you to heal. I want you to grow. And you can actually choose to be with them in that pain. Now, that doesn't mean sacrifice your own happiness for them. Because there's going to be a lot of people, if we're being completely honest, that you just can't help. They're going to be stuck in their false reality, running away from the pain forever. But if you at least make yourself available, even if they deny your help, you have gone through the action and played your part in displaying love to them. and letting them know that if they do make the decision in their own minds after life has put them through all the shit that they're going to go through, that they can actually still come back to you and be embraced and appreciated and loved. But that doesn't mean sacrifice your happiness and force yourself to help them if they're not going to help themselves. So that does it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you appreciated it. And remember, we're not going to help this world become a better place by pushing other people away, by shaming them, by making them feel worse about who they are. Just like you want to be loved and accepted for who you are, they also need to be loved and accepted for who they are, even if they're being kind of pretty shitty people sometimes. And that's the only way that we're going to make this world a better place. So I hope that you want to help me do that, because that's all I want to do, make this world a better place. I want to help people be their most authentic version by you yourself being your most authentic version, and me myself too, having the courage to do that, and then actually accepting each other and loving each other for who we actually are. And only when we do these first initial stages can we start to make really big changes in society as a whole. So that does it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Hit subscribe if you want to join the Patreon to get more exclusive content and support me as a creator. I'd freaking love that. So thank you so much. See you on the next one. Bye.